Hey folks, Dr. Gerstmar from Aspire Natural Health. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever you happen to be watching or listening to this. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I was walking my dog yesterday. We had some beautiful sunshine. Took the opportunity to take my dog out on a walk. And as I was walking, I passed a very fancy looking car. It was a beautiful Mercedes. Now, I'm not a car person. That's not something that really matters to me, but you have to admit, it was a beautiful looking car. And I had someone not too long ago tell me that cars like that can cost up to $300,000. And so as I was walking past the car, my first thought was, wow, that's a beautiful looking car. And then I thought, oh my gosh, someone spent a large amount of money on that car. And that got me to thinking that once we take care of the necessities of life, food, having a roof over our head, all the basics that we need to live our lives, once we have those squared away, fundamentally, it then comes down to two different categories. And which one are we prioritizing? On the one hand, we have status improvement, and on the other hand, we have self-improvement. Status improvement or self-improvement. Now, we can get on our high horse here about self-improvement and status improvement, and that's not what we want to do. We want to understand status is important. It's genetically hardwired into us. We can complain about status and all that, but understand that it's there. It's in all of us. Some of us feel it more strongly than others, but when we look at the animal kingdom, right? When we look at wolves and we look at monkeys and we look at many, many places, all the social species out there have status. What's the reality of it? The animal that as it is at the high point of the status gets most of the benefits, right? They get the best food, they get the best choice of a partner. In general, they get the best choices, right? The animal that is at the bottom of that heap, in contrast, it's not great, right? It's not great. They don't get the best choice in anything. So it is hardwired in us to seek high status. And much of the behavior, in fact, most of it, that we see going on, but as we interact with other human beings, is largely tailored around status, right? We spend a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of energy on improving our status. So, why would someone spend $300,000 on a car? Right? Status, right? It's not just to get from place A to place B. You can get a much cheaper, much cheaper, vehicle with wheels and an engine that will literally transport you from place A to place B at not crash and explode for under $300,000. The reason that someone does that, why do we buy expensive handbags, or why do we, do all of these oversized things? Why do we spend all that time, energy, and money on them? It's to seek status. Now, it's important not to beat ourselves up, as you know, hopefully. Let me say it again. Not a fan of shame, blame, or guilt. I feel those are toxic emotions. They don't help. Understanding is how we want to approach these things. We're all hardwired for status. But here's the thing. Many of us unconsciously let that drive us. We prioritize status. Now, that's everything in our life, from the jobs that we choose to the partners and the friends that we make. One very small example. I still vividly remember in kindergarten, I knew a boy named Brian, and we went out for lunch one day, and there was another kid sitting off by himself. And I remember looking at that kid. I had my lunchbox in my hand, looking at that kid, and I remember Brian saying to me, "Don't go sit with that kid, something bad. Come sit with the popular kids." And I'd like to, congratulate myself for a moment that I remember very specifically saying, that's not right, and going over and sitting with that kid. Now, I'm not holding myself up as some paragon here. We all make choices that we're proud of in our lives, and we make choices that we're not so proud of, right? But that was one instance where I set aside status seeking and did the right thing. Now, understanding that the natural flow is towards spending our time, our money, and our energy on improving our status. And per se, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when we prioritize that over self-improvement, learning, growing, improving in our lives, and here in this video, improving in our health. I remember the frustration of sitting with someone really suffering with digestive issues and autoimmunity, talking to them about what they needed to do to improve. And they were saying, yes, that all sounds good. And yes, that sounds like something that I'm interested in. And then we talked about the price that's going to be involved in that. And they, hemmed and hawed and ultimately said, no, I don't have that kind of money. But what did we watch them do? They went outside and they got in a really fancy looking car. Now, again, no shame, blame, or guilt. It just wasn't right for that person at the time. But we need to take a hard look at our situation. Worst case scenario, you sell the car. You take a hit to your status, right? But you improve your health, you improve your life. Again, we see the same thing. People will prioritize spending on fancy clothes and buying garbage food. Food is the foundation that's going to build your long-term health. So we need to be conscious of how we are making our choices. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have good status. But when we prioritize improving our status over improving ourselves, we have to recognize that at the end of the day, while status is hardwired into us and there are benefits to being a high status person, a lot of us find that we're chasing an empty goal at the end of the day. I took this job because here we go, right? Some of us consciously understand, others don't. If we were conscious of everything, we would say, I took this job or this partner or this house or this car or these clothes or whatever it might be. I took it because I wanted to impress other people. But you know what? At the end of the day, other people don't matter that much. We ourselves, the connections we make, the lives that we live, the purpose that we live our lives for, these are the things that matter. When we talk to people on their deathbeds, they don't usually say, I wish I'd had a fancier car, a bigger TV, all that stuff. They talk about living their lives, connecting with other people, living a life of purpose, making the most of their lives. Again, no shame, blame, or guilt here, people, but we want awareness, right? We need to think about, where are we spending our time, energy, and money? Are we overspending in the direction of improving our status? Or do we have balance and are choosing to spend our time, energy, and money on improving ourselves, including improving our health? The next time we find ourselves saying, no, I can't afford that time, money, or energy, we need to stop for just a second. Is the reality truly, I can't afford to do that right now? Okay. Or is the reality, I don't want to? I would rather spend my time, energy, and money on improving my status. And if it's true, if you'd rather do that, more power to us. But awareness and consciousness is what we're seeking here. All right, folks, the message is, what are we prioritizing in our lives? Are we over prioritizing one or the other, or finding a balance that works for us to help us live a long, healthy, happy life? All right, folks, that is it for me today. Listen, we live in a society that gives lip service to health, but does not go about supporting us as we seek to improve our digestive issues, improve our autoimmunity. We often, many of us, find ourselves surrounded by people who are not supportive as we go through our health journey. So I'd like to invite you to come and join our private and exclusive Facebook group called the ANH for Aspire Natural Health, the ANH Academy. All you need to do is go to Facebook and search for the ANH Academy. You'll find it. are three super simple, super quick, super easy questions. Just answer those questions. I would love to approve you, welcome you into the community so you can join us to be around others who are dealing with digestive issues and autoimmunity to help support each other as we go through our healing journey. So please join us at the ANH Academy. Go to Facebook, search for ANH Academy, answer the super simple, super easy questions, and I will see you there. All right, folks, until next time, take care.